The year was 2000. The team the Devils celebrate tonight, vying for the second Stanley Cup championship in the team's history. Remember this from the Eastern Conference Final? Claude Lemuiex, one of the big goals of that series. The Devils went on to eliminate the Flyers in 7. They went on to win the second Stanley Cup, the final against the Dallas Stars, and a key contributor to that team. He was back for his second stint with the Devils that year, played 70 games in the regular season, and then got to hoist Lord Stanley again. Claude Lemuiex, welcome back to the Meadowlands. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
You remember Stan Fischler, I would suppose, right?
Absolutely.
You know, you were my idol. You know why? I always like to get under people's skin. Now, I'm working on this guy, and you wrote the book on it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Do you take pride in that years later, your ability to unnerve the opponent, let's say?
You know, I do and I don't. It's something that I think is in you. I always believed that it was something that I had learned along the way, but I guess it's in my blood. And now I watch my boys play the game, and I watch my 10-year-old just being basically a duplicate of the old man, a chip off the block, you would say, and it's in his blood too. So I tell him he doesn't have to aggravate and he doesn't have to give it the extra little whack, but he likes and he's enjoying it.
Well, the fans should know that Claude, first of all, was a terrific hockey player. To me, I would say one of the best clutch players I've ever seen. Now, I go back to when you knocked Hartford out, when you were with the Canadians, and that was the first clue that I got that you had the goods. What do you remember about that?
I actually watched it on YouTube last night.
Wow.
And someone's posted that goal, which brought back great memories. But we had a young team, and we were coming out of left field. We had so many rookies with the Canadians that year. No one expected anything, and the veteran players really got into it and got excited about the opportunity. And I just I felt it was my time, and I felt that I could pull it off, and I did. And very fortunate to be at the right place at the right time that year, and a huge upset to win the Cup in '86 with the Canadians.
You won the Con Smyth Trophy in 1995. 13 goals that postseason. 3 of those goals were game winners. And then it suddenly ends for you as a New Jersey Devil. You make the decision to go to Colorado. The fact that you won the Cup 1 year later, did that validate things in your mind? Because I know from the fans' perspective, there were a lot of hurt feelings. Our guy from a year ago was suddenly gone.
Yeah, and you know, when I look back today and think about having been here and leaving, and then again in 2000 and winning and leaving, and what that must have done, or what I did to the fans, and how difficult that must have been for them to understand. But as a player, you got to go with your gut instinct, and you got to be at the right place at the right time. I've stayed in Montreal my whole career. Maybe I'd have won 2 cups, maybe I'd have won 1. I was never afraid of the move. I was never afraid to pull the trigger, and I kind of probably on or off the ice had the same mentality, a little bit of a gambler at times, but it worked out well for me. But I feel coming back tonight, this is coming home, and it feels really good. I'm very happy that I got to come back.
Now, you mentioned a word, afraid. I'll never forget this. We were in Boston. It was the start of the first round in '95. And those of us in the truck were a little afraid that you guys were going to get blown out in Boston Garden. Now, you got to tell me what led to the, what was inside with the team, because then you just took off from there. What was it about the team? What kind of confidence did you guys feel?
I always say you can't win unless you have an outstanding goaltender, and we knew we had that. So if you start from there and you have great defense, and we had that too. We lacked a little scoring, but we had a lot of guys like myself that hadn't scored all year, and if we could get ourselves going, we had a chance. We also had a great coaching staff and had a great game plan. We knew who we needed to shut down, and we did that. And then I got myself going. I remember how good it felt to score 2 in that first game, and playing with Neil Broughton, and everything started falling into place. And it's like watching golfers nowadays. They get on a roll, and it's tough to stop them. And I was always a streaky player, and got on a roll, and many others as well. And we had a great team, and we were always tough. We were always a team that had great goaltending, that played well defensively. And for the Devils, it always came down to scoring. So when one of us got on a roll, then we knew we had a crack at winning.
Well, you won a cup alongside Patrick Roy in your rookie season. You won with Martin Brodeur. Are the two similar? Very unsimilar? How would you characterize that?
I mean, you have to say that they're similar because of their success, obviously. Different temper, different mentality. Marty a bit more laid back, not quite as involved with the rest of the team. Patrick, the ultimate competitor, leader in the locker room, never afraid to stand up, challenge everybody. That's why he's where he's at today in the Hockey Hall of Fame and coaching and doing extremely well in that regard as well.
If I was doing my Claude Lemieux imitation to this question, it would be...
You'd be taking a dive.
No. Don't be a wise guy. Let me do that. I would say Marty Brodeur was great and Patrick Roy was lucky.
I got to tell you,
That's a pretty good imitation.
It is. They're both... you'd stir the pot.
How about the 2000 team?
2000 team, we had more firepower than we have had in the past with McGillney and Gomez. We had a lot of guys that could put the puck in the net, and I always going to remember the conversation, the meeting we had after Game 4 here against Philadelphia when we were down 3-1, and the passion in Larry Robinson's voice and his body language and how he believed himself so badly that we were selling ourselves short, that we were going to give up on ourselves and not go further. And I believe it was the first time in history coming back down 3-1 and beating the Flyers.
Well, we're going to talk more about that with Scott Stevens in our second intermission. He's going to join us. What a pleasure it's been seeing you here tonight. Claude Lemieux, thank you for joining us. Terrific stuff.
You were great, and Cam Neely, lucky.
No, Cam Neely was a heck of a player.
We better go to break before somebody gets somebody in trouble, right?
Before I get hurt.